Okay, that's fine. You can sit there and say that you followed politics for years. That's okay. But for you to sit there and say that Jill Biden is correct and that Donald Trump is this most scariest monster ever, here's the thing. You already went through one of his terms. Were you terrified then when he was president of the United States? Nope, you sure weren't. Second part of this is this. What you are is totally out of touch with what our Americans are feeling. Over 80% of this country feel that Joe Biden and his administration have led this country in the very wrong direction. And he is now polling well under 30%, which then tells us that the majority of Americans are unhappy with the way that this administration has let this country go. Okay? So when you look at the two presidents, the two people, Biden versus Trump, at Trump's rallies, you see thousands of real red-blooded Americans, and I mean thousands. Then you see Biden's rallies, got 40, 50, 60, maybe 100 people. So what I'm going to tell you is this. If you can sit here and say that Jill Biden is right by calling Donald Trump the most scariest thing in the world, when you look at, you're out of touch with what real Americans feel about this administration. So what I feel is you've just let social media influencers cloud your judgment to think that Donald Trump is so scary. Meanwhile, we all survived under his first term, and this country looked a hell of a lot better under his term than it has under the past 3.5 years under Joe Biden. What we have seen as Americans is how the Democrat Party has continuously lied to us, lock us down while they were allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted to, have flooded this country with millions of people that do not belong here, and some of these people have committed crimes against Americans. We see high crime in all cities right now. We see criminals get arrested and let right back out thanks to cashless bail systems in the Democrat Party. What you're selling me is that, oh, yeah, I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh say blah, 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 blah about being biased. Okay, fine. What I'm asking you to do is not look at bias. I'm asking you to look at the rest of Americans right now and how hard they're struggling in the 50-year high inflation, 23-year high interest rates, crime in every damn city at this point, and everyone's being flooded with full of these country with full of people that do not belong here. Okay? So you can sit up here all day long and be like, Jill Biden's right. Donald Trump is so scary. Oh my God, clutch your pearls. We're so afraid. But the rest of us see him for exactly what he is. He is not a career establishment politician that is going to listen to big business and big donors and big lobbyists and all of the swamp and the special interest people. He's someone that has his own money. So he can't be bought and sold by the special interest and the military elites and all of that are ruining this country right now. And that's why Americans are standing with him. So the media and all the left-wing talking heads that you're listening to is wanting you to think that Donald Trump is so scary. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Are we gonna be No, we're not. We already saw his presidency and we saw the numbers that man pulled. We saw this man actually give a shit about American citizens, actually give a shit about protecting our border from people that we have seen over, what are we at, 10 million that have come across now that are being dumped into our cities that are getting free everything thanks to us, the taxpayers, and the Democrat Party. So what part of this do you think is scary if Donald Trump gets back into office? Because from what I can tell you, the last 3.5 years has been fucking terrifying. Okay? This country, 70 to 80% of this country feel the same way that I do. But you're going to sit up here and be like, I'm not biased at all. Bullshit. You keep listening to people like Dr. Jill Biden tell you that Donald Trump's so scary. The rest of us out here are looking at other Americans and how people are struggling in this economy, how these people have been dumped into our cities, how crime is so bad. How about all our indoctrination at kids at school? How about that? I can keep going, my dear. It's not about being biased. It's about having common sense and seeing what this country looks like economically, with crime, with the border, and seeing that this president and this administration want you to focus on how scary Donald Trump is. Meanwhile, they are absolutely running this country into the dirt. So no, my dear, I don't think it has anything to do with bias. I think it has to do with common sense. And we can see Joe Biden for what he is. We can hear him speak and know that he's got onset dementia and the man has zero business running this country. But we all know he's not running this country. It's the people around him that are running it. He's just the little puppet that they run up front. Okay? So I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. You are entitled to your opinions, of course, where you can think that Donald Trump's so scary. Okay, cool, whatever. We already survived a Donald Trump presidency. And we all did just fine. Matter of fact, we were doing better than fine. Up until COVID, that man was on a well-oiled machine and this country was going back. The deficit started to fall. People were making money. People were doing good. And in 3.5 years, your buddy, homeboy Joe Biden, has absolutely destroyed this country. But yes, by all means, keep believing Dr. Jill Biden about how scary he is. Matter of fact, why is Jill Biden doing these speeches? Shouldn't her husband be out here speaking to the American people? Oh, that's right. We all know what happens when he tries to do a speech, don't we? Like I said, there's not enough Adderall to pump into him to make that one happen. But so everyone else is going to go out and campaign for Joe Biden, just like in the last election where no one ever saw him. His rallies had 10 people in it. Real Americans realize that these career establishment politicians like Joe Biden don't want to do what's best for the American people. They want to do what's best for other countries in their own pocket. And you know what? America is sick and tired of it. And you want to know why I know that? Because every single rally is filled to the brim, overfilled. People line the streets when Donald Trump comes by just to see him, just to take a picture of him. And you can call that celebrity, you can call that whatever you like. What I call it is someone who's actually standing for the people and not the career establishment, career politicians that are ruining this country right now. So by all means, believe Dr. Jill Biden. I'm going to stick with all the Americans that are sick and tired of the way this country looks under Democratic leadership. This was fun. Good talk.